no, basically, yeah. So it was just that, I knew that it was God that,
brought us together,
yeah.
and I am.
But it wasn't like, okay, in her case, I want to raise this point. She didn't just say, okay, I'm going to talk to you. I'm just going to just let you into my life. She actually took that, what I told her, to God, and God confirmed that what I was saying was true. So whenever
Babe, sorry, I don't want to stop you, but your hair is sticking out. That way,
where
right?
here,
Yeah.
that's okay.
I don't know
This
if you
one?
want it like that. I don't know if you
No,
wanted
it's
it
okay.
like that.
Listen, listen. Let the
No,
Holy
no, no.
Spirit.
I just wanted. Okay, go ahead.
Listen, man. Listen, the one thing about me is, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just that, when God is sending somebody into your life, it's best for you to take that person to God and say, God, is this the person that you're sending in my life?
Yes.
Because sometimes will judge them from the way that they look. We'll judge them maybe because of their social status. Maybe they don't have like money, houses, cars. Maybe you start judging people, right? And you don't really know who they are and who what their purpose is in your life. So we have to be
Yes.
very careful with how we receive or how we treat people that God is sending into our life. We need to know if God is truly sending that person. So it's important for us to take that person and to God and say, Lord, did you send this person to me? Did you send this person in my life? And for what reason? And God will reveal these things to you. He's not going to just keep quiet. There wasn't a time that they had a question for Jesus and he didn't answer it.
Amen.
So just like there wasn't a sickness that they brought to him if they had faith that he didn't cure, or disease that he didn't cure that person, or he didn't heal that person, right? So this is the type of God that we serve, and we need to be knowledgeable of how he operates, right? And we got to take stuff to him. It's not like he's giving us a mouth to not speak. He's giving us a mouth to not only speak to each other, but to also speak to him and to present these things to him so that he can speak back to us, so that we can have a relationship with God. That's what it is. She has had a relationship with God before I met her. So I had a relationship with God too. So that's why God was able to reveal these things, that thing to me, right? If I was out of place or out of position, then I wouldn't have received that word, right? Why? Because I wouldn't have never ended up in that church because I wasn't in position. Right. So when God was calling me and he saved me, and I put my, like, through that decision that I made to serve God and give him my mind, my soul, my body, and my spirit, that placed me in position to meet her. Right. It didn't just happen. I had to surrender my life to God and give him everything that I am so that I could be at the right place at the right time.
Amen.
And that's what it's all about. Being at the right place at the right time, and making sure that you receive the right people into your life because you need them. There's a purpose for these people. But if you reject them, if you push them away, if you just judge them because of their social
Appearance.
status or appearance, then you're going to miss God. Why? Because he says,
Or age.
what you've done to the least of these, this is what the Bible says. He says, you have done unto me. They're going to ask, well, Lord, when did I not visit you? Or when did I not help you in need? Or when did I reject you? He says, whatsoever you do unto the least of these, right? So the ones that you would overlook, whatsoever you do to them, the little ones, right? The humble ones.
Yes.
He says, you do unto me. So we have to be very careful with how we treat people, and be very careful that we would present these people to God, so we would make the right choice. So
Amen.
that's something that she understood.
That I did, and thank God that I did it, because I would have missed out on a great blessing. Because I truly, I always say this, that I truly believe that you are one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes, and so I wanted to tell the people,
Well, you are too.
Yeah,
Because
thank
I
babe.
needed you. Just hello.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I know we have some singles that are also listening, people that are in waiting. How long were we friends before we started to court?
6 years.
So we were friends 6 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 6 years.
Okay. So we
No, it was a little over. I think
No, it was, I think it was around 6 years.
like 6.5 years. I think it was.
Really?
It was around 6 years. Let's just stick with 6.
Yeah. I'm
I
sorry.
just
We
say
should have.
listen. 6.
No, we
6
should.
years
What
is
we
fine.
should have gotten. No, Yeah, what? No, it's around. Yeah, you're right. It's around 6 years.
All right.
But we should have had a like or notepad with the number on there, so we
Right.
were
Well,
totally
it's 6
exact
years.
on the
Okay,
time.
guys. Take it
Okay,
take it as
6 years.
that.
So we basically were friends for 6 years before we started to court, right?
Right.
And so how the courting happened?
Right.
Well, oh God, I didn't want this video to be long, but it's so much information.
Right.
But I'm gonna try to be brief with it. The way the courting happened was that I had like a birthday party one night, and Jamel was there with like two other of my friends, and one of my friends said to me, "Oh my God, Claudia, Jamel loves you. Like the way he's looking at you." I'm like, "Really?" And like, sometimes we're so we're so just like not present. We don't realize what's really going on, and it takes someone else to actually tell
Right.
us.
Sometimes we can't.
Yeah,
see it.
so when she said, "Claudia, Jamel loves you," I'm like, "Oh no, girl, please, what are you seeing?" But
What
she
friend was
said,
that?
"Diane."
Yeah, let's
Hey,
call her
Diane, big up yourself.
Let's call
McCoy
out.
Porter.
Let's call out.
So I remember, so I decided to listen to her. And she said, I really think you guys should separate from each other. Because, we were friends and we just, so doing everything together sometimes. And she said, I think you guys should separate from each other to really see what God would want to do in your lives, what God is saying about you two. So I was like, you know what, I'll listen. So I decided to separate. We decided to separate for around 7 days.
Well, before that, I don't mean to interrupt, but I don't want to completely give the credit to her, because you got to also remember that part where I was sharing with you, like within that time, it's like your name was everywhere.
Yes, you did.
And then I remember when God showed me in a dream where I was speaking to this angel, and the angel was basically saying, I was telling the angel, I was like, "Who, Claudia? Claudia?" I was like, "Oh, no, that's just my friend." And then the angel said to me, "You never know."
I remember he
I'm
told
like,
me that.
You never know. Because I wasn't thinking of it really either, right? And he said, "You never know."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You never know."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What you mean you never know?"
Yeah.
So from that time, right, from that moment on, I had to tighten up, loose screws, loose ends. I started to tighten up because there was a possibility that I could marry her, or she could be my wife. So once I got that word, it was like letting me know, like, tighten up any little screws or whatever you got going on, and because
Yeah, you did tell me.
your wife might be right under your nose. So I had to tighten up, and when I started seeing her name everywhere, and I told her that, in addition to what Diane told her, and
Yes.
then as well as what I told her from what I was seeing, like billboards. I can't tell you, it was just everywhere. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
what the heck is going on? And then it's just like she say, well, let's separate for what?
It was
7 days?
7 or 10 days. I think it was 10.
Yeah, it was 10 days.
It was 10 days, and I said, you know what, let's separate for 10 days. Let's not
Right.
even talk on the phone.
Right.
Let's not even meet up or nothing. Just separate completely for 10 days and see
Right.
what God is saying, because I want what God has for me.
Right.
And that was my thing. I was like, I want to get married. And if you are not my husband, then I want to make sure that our friendship is just like, I don't spend so much time with you.
Right.
I need to like basically not spend as much time and just start to focus on other things, because
Right.
I don't want to block my husband.
Right.
I was like, you know what, I've got to go on this fast. So we fasted and separated for 10 days to hear what God was saying, about us. And on the first day of the fast, God showed me that Jamel could lead me. So he showed me that he could lead me. So I was like, why are you when I woke up, I was like, God, why are you showing me that Jamel can lead me?
Right.
And so, I was like, okay, then he must be husband material,
Right.
And that was the first thing God showed me. And then after that, God showed me that he's giving me the choice,
Right.
if I want to marry him or not.
Right.
So just to be clear, God approved he approved our marriage before
Right.
he even gave us the choice.
Right.
So God has to approve, you getting married to someone before
Right.
he actually says that, it's your choice, because ultimately it's going to be your choice, because he
Right.
doesn't take our free will away. And I always say that some people don't believe that, but we do have free will. We
Right.
have
We
a
have a
free will
choice.
to decide against what God, wants for
yeah,
us,
yeah, that's true.
And so,
Or knows, because he knows what's best.
yes.
So for you to, like basically present it to God and be like, okay, God, for us to present it to God and be like, okay, God, I want what's best. Like God knows what's best. He approved it. Like you said, he approved it
Yes.
before he gives you it's not like, okay, he's going to give you somebody that's abusive. It's not like he said
Yes.
he's going to give you away to someone that's going to be a womanizer or whatever the case may be, or the other way around, right? He's not going to give you to that person. It's just like he's your
No.
father. So when a person is being married, the daughter has to be given away by their father. So it's the same way with us, that God is not going to give you away to somebody that doesn't have your best interest at heart. So he stood up for me because he knew who I am. He knew what he made me to be, right? And who I became because of my obedience through his spirit, right? Because I could have been anybody else. I could have went a different direction, but he had prepared me for that moment. So I was basically ready,
Amen.
right? I was ready to make that step, and he
Yes.
knew that.
Yes.
And that's why he was able to vouch for me and say, Jamel can lead her,
Yes.
right? Because if I couldn't lead her, he wouldn't tell her that. God ain't
No.
gonna lie to his children.
And-
yes, this was my friend,
Yes.
but first, she's God's daughter,
Yes.
right? So he's not gonna just be like, all right, I'm gonna give you to him because that's my son. No, your son need to get his mind right. Your son need to have his stuff together.
Yes.
So I'm speaking to the young men out there that are playing games, playing around, that don't want to make up their mind, that don't want to place themselves in a place where they can be committed in a committed relationship. God won't lead you wrong. Like he won't steer you in the wrong direction.
No.
He knows what's best for you. So if you
Yes.
give it to him, he's going to put you in the best place possible, right? So this is where I am, and I thank God that he gave me the opportunity to marry my friend, because I knew who she was, right? So I didn't have a problem with that. I knew it. I was like, okay, let's do it. If I had the money that day,
Okay.
but I
Right.
kind of went off topic, but it's the truth. That's how I felt.
That's why I say it's a lot of information. But babe, the first day of the fast, what did God show you?
Well, I already got the word, and I can't quite remember that part.
No, you told me that God showed you that it was your choice if you wanted.
Well, yeah, it was my choice, but-
if you wanted to get married to me or not.
Hello.
Right. But it's basically
When
was
he
showing
started
us the
showing
same
me,
thing.
and he started telling me that I already made a decision, but he was giving me a choice, and I knew that I had a choice. So, but I chose, because I already knew who I was. I knew who you were.
Yeah.
I knew you were somebody that was gonna, be all over the place. So
Okay. So we ended up choosing each other.
right,
And that's after
2.5 years ago.
So yeah, we spoke to each other. We said, "I choose you." He told me,
Right.
He chooses me, and it was just all
It's like
uphill
an
from
open,
there.
yeah. It's like an open, like a flower bloomed. or something
Yeah,
like that.
so-
Like a door bursted open. Or
Yes,
something
and I
like that.
remember it was on 0715 to we got married in 22, right? So
Yeah.
071521 is when we started to court.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. And I remember when I looked at my watch,
It was 7:15.
it was 7:15 on my watch, and it stopped working and stopped
Right.
working right there. And so, yeah.
It was
It was
very,
great. It was amazing. Like
yeah,
it's
it
so
was-
much more we have to add
Oh
to
my
this,
gosh,
but
man.
it's it's gonna make the video very long. But
what would you
but,
want to say to them to kind of encourage them to on their journey? Is there anything else you wanted to share?
yeah,
But-
for like as far as like our age gap,
oh, okay.
I wanted
yeah.
to cover where, like he's 5 years and someone's younger than me.
So when she was 5,
so-
when she was like 4 years old, I didn't exist. I'm just throwing that out there. She did.
And so
I wasn't even here.
And so
Right.
let's say 6 years. He's 6 years younger than I am, and you know what? It's such a blessing. He keeps me younger. You know,
That's right.
and to the women out there, don't just disregard someone that God has placed you in placed, like, I want to say, a man that God's placed in your life. Don't just disregard him because of the age difference, because that may be very well your husband.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about someone who's like 70, 17, younger than that.
Yeah, we don't
We
condone
don't
in
condone
pedophilia.
in
Go
we
ahead.
don't condone in that. But at the right age, being an adult, don't just dismiss it. Go to God and see what God is saying.
That's right.
Of course, just you got to make sure that your hands are clean.
Yeah, of course.
By just doing it the Lord's way, how He
Most
would want for
importantly.
us to do it. And that is basically not, having sex before marriage.
That's right.
And so as far as the age gap is concerned, I thought that at the point when I just met him, I thought he was too young for me, until I heard what the Lord was saying, and that's what I went off of.
Right.
That trumps everything else. So whatever God tells you about someone, that should trump everything else. That should shut the mouth of the lion, because
Right.
people are going to come and they're going to be naysayers, and people are
Right.
going to come and they're going to, they're going to be attacks from the enemy on
Right.
your marriage. People are not going to be in agreement, because some people think that, in the past, people thought that I was a little too older than he was.
Right.
And so, and not many people thought that, but someone did think that. I mean, we love you.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that what God says trump everything else. And we are so much like, when it comes to the youthfulness, we are very youthful. As far as I don't look at my baby as, my husband as like, oh my God, he's just so much younger than me, and he's doing so many young things, and I feel old. No. Age is just a number. Age
Yeah,
is
I
just a
mean-
number to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a number.
It's just how you feel,
And
like
how
it's
you feel
and how
in
you
your
take
body.
care of yourself,
And how-
man.
there
You
you
take
go.
care of yourself, and don't allow the numbers to just stop you from getting what God has for you. You know what I mean?
Amen.
And you don't know what God will have for you, but you just got to just trust God. Like, I'm not, I really, we're talking to adults here. We're talking to grown people here. You know what I mean? We're not talking to kids, right? So we're talking to adults, and we want you guys to
Yes.
know that just trust God. And whenever He brings that person for you, don't count them out. Don't rule them out, because it's something that person will have for you. And I
Yes.
can't tell you how many times that her prayer saved me. I can't tell you how many times that the fastings that she went on, how it saved me. It kept me.
Vice versa.
So it was I needed her, and I didn't know I did, but and that's the thing. God knows what we need even before we ask. We don't always know what we need, but God knows what we need. It may not come, the present may not come wrapped the way that you prefer it, but it will come. It's still a gift, and it's from God. So you gotta just let God be God, right? And let Him have joy in creating and remolding your life, because we all come from somewhere, right? We all have a past. But when you give your life to God and God starts to turn you into a new creature, He finds joy in doing that. It's not like He created us
my
and
God.
the heavens and the earth, and He saw that it
Thank
was
you,
good. Why would He
Jesus.
say, I saw that it was good? Why didn't He found joy in these things, So when it comes to Him putting us together, and God likes to surprise us, so he finds joy in that. So we just thank God that, He finds so much joy in surprising us, right? So
Yeah.
But I think you said you wanted to mention something.
Yes, so I want to say to my singles that are out there waiting, I want to talk to my single ladies, women of God that are waiting. You're on your faith walk, your faith journey. Just know that if your desire is to be married, God can fulfill that desire. Just continue to stay on the right path with Him. Don't have one foot out and one foot in. You have to be serious on your walk with God. And woman of God, you know what I'm talking about. So just you have to be serious on your walk, and God will align you with your husband at the right time and the right place. And don't let your age be a great concern for you. If you know you're on the right path with God, God knows exactly how old you are. So don't worry about that. He will make it happen in his timing.
That's right. I thought you said you wanted to mention something about the kid.
Yeah, and then, for me, having a baby, 15-month-old at 42 years young, you know, there's so many negative things people say about women that are older and are having children, but then there's proof that nowadays so many women are having children at an older age. And and yes, you have to use wisdom. You don't want to wait to you're way too old to have a child, but if it's God's will, it will be done. And if you're in waiting and you're depending on God, he will come
Right.
through. So just to share my story I'm 42 years old and I have a 15-month-old son. He's happy, he's healthy, and we are blessed to have him. So just don't let that deter you. Don't let your age deter you from having a child. If you're physically if you're physically well, you can have a child, and so.
Yeah, we thank God that you guys are watching, and we just pray that you guys are blessed by these words, because we were truly blessed by these moments of our lives. So yeah, I mean, I think we've said enough, but it's the truth, because it's how we got to where we are today, and we just wanted to share that with you guys. And we said this video is going to be 10 minutes, but
It couldn't be 10 minutes.
you can't
So
can't bottle all this up in 10 minutes. It's going to
so
sound like
much. And
like
we
AI or something
and
like
we
that.
still didn't say everything.
And that's not even everything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I want to say, God, we love you.
Yeah, God, we love you.
God, we love you. And to our YouTube family, we love you.
That's right.
We'll continue to post our videos weekly. I pray that you and your families are doing well, and I pray that you glean something from this message.
That's right. Amen.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
it.
Well, you guys have a blessed and successful day.
guys.
We speak nothing but blessings over your life, and
Yes.
that God will just continue to just open up doors and heal you, and all manner of miracles and wonders in your life. All right.
Yes.
So we speak that, and we bless you guys for also being a blessing to us. So
Yes.
yeah.
All right, guys. Take care.